Start it up.
The skill gap between a regular Rocket League player and a professional Rocket League player is hilariously huge, and most people don't understand just how big that gap is. How do I know most people don't understand? Because I still get the question all the time, Sunless, are you gonna be a pro and play in RLCS one day? Now I could just say to those people, no, you idiot, why would you even ask such a stupid question? But I don't, because I'm a really nice person, and also it stokes my ego when they ask that, and also I can't really blame them because most Rocket League players can't even guess another player's rank.
Diamond? No, that has no.
Much less grasp the difference between your average champ and pro. What I'm trying to say is it's not really their fault. The difference between a high-level player and a pro just hasn't been illustrated that well before. So, let's break it down a bit. In August of 2019, Rocket League caster Johnny Boy held a Pro-Am charity tournament sponsored by Manscaped, called the Manscaped 10K. The tournament raised a ton of money for a good cause and also did something that you don't see every day. It put regular Rocket League players in the same field as RLCS pros. Now the community has seen this a little bit when content creators collaborate with pros, but never in the context of a 2v2 tournament where we could really see the comparison of skill levels. The idea of the tournament was a high level or pro player would be teamed with a champion 2-3 or fringe GC type content creator. Basically, the pros carry the AMs kind of thing. Now during the actual event, it was pretty easy to tell who was the pro and who was the amateur. Like here, and no, I don't want to talk about this play. But here's the strange thing. Despite the huge difference in the skill of the players, in some cases, the pro and the amateur were the exact same rank. The best example of this is this team. Why yes, that is me. Thanks for noticing. Because of the way the tournament had to be scheduled, it actually took place over the course of several months. But at this point in the event, I had reached the rank of Grand Champion. Since then, of course, I've plummeted down once again to my current rank of Low Champ 3, but the important thing is at this moment, right here, I am a Grand Champ. And that means that also at this moment, I am the exact same rank as my professional teammate Kronovi. And that, my friends, brings me to the title of this video, which is the problem with ranks in Rocket League. The way Rocket League ranks work is pretty simple. Each player is assigned a number, referred to as MMR, which stands for matchmaking ratio. When you win a game, you gain MMR, and when you lose MMR. The amount you gain or lose depends on the strength of your opponents and your teammates. In the game, you can't see this number unless you use a third-party application like Bacchusmod, or you can look up your profile on a site like RL Tracker. Instead, your MMR is reflected as a rank. Currently, the highest rank, Grand Champion, is achieved in 2v2 with an MMR of 1515. However, high-level players that wish to go even further continue to gain MMR. The top players in the game have historically pushed well past 2,000. Competitive players at this level don't even refer to each other as Grand Champs because the rank becomes meaningless at that level. Instead, they just distinguish each other using their MMR, which is why you hear players say things like, I'm a 1600 GC, or I'm an 1800 GC. They say this because the difference between low Grand Champ at around 1500 and a high Grand Champ at around 1900 is noticeably different. To illustrate this type of skill gap, you can compare the difference between me with my peak MMR of around 1500 and Kronovi at around 2000. With a difference of 500, I'm closer in MMR to a Diamond 2 than to Kronovi. That gap in skill is so massive, it's like the difference between a Bronze and a Platinum 2. Yet despite these gaps, at this point in time, I was the exact same rank as Kronovi. I hope you're starting to see the problem here. To a casual viewer, you might say, wow, this guy is the same rank as the pros now. So can you really blame a casual viewer for looking at this and being confused and thinking, well, this guy should probably be close in skill level to another player of the exact same rank? That's a pretty damn reasonable assumption, I'd say. But if we watch the footage from the tournament, it's almost laughable how obvious the difference between pros and creators is. Watch the way Kronovi smoothly and efficiently moves across the field, while I blunder around awkwardly with no boost. That's the 500 MMR difference you're seeing. This matchup right here of me against Lethemir is like a Diamond against a Champ 3. Throw a low GC against a pro, and they'll have less time to react, they'll be put in more difficult positions, they'll have less boost, they'll second guess their decisions more than usual, and the result is that they'll look like this. And remember, I said I don't want to talk about it. Hopefully you get the point here. The difference between regular champion or grand champion players and pro players is enormous. So why haven't Psyonix already added a new rank for higher level players to occupy so they have something to work towards once they progress past grand champion? My theory is simply because most Rocket League players, and when I say most, I mean like 99% of the player base, don't care, and aren't really affected by this at all. And why should they care? According to rank population data from Psyonix, Grand Champions only account for about 0.5% of the player base. Why would the developer go through the work of implementing a change that nearly all of its users wouldn't even be affected by? But at the same time, how difficult would it be to just add one more rank above Grand Champion reserved for the best of the best players, say above 1800 MMR? You wouldn't even need to tweak anything about how matchmaking already works, otherwise that might increase the amount of time it takes for pros to find a match, which can already be quite lengthy. All you would be doing is adding a visual marker for the achievement of reaching the top level of play in Rocket League. While most players aren't directly affected, in many cases the high-level players have audiences that enjoy watching them compete. Some of the most popular content creators in Rocket League are competitive or high-level players, so adding something that they can work towards and achieve in a way also makes a much larger group, their audience, also happy. So maybe if Psyonix added a new rank, people would understand the difference between a normal player and a pro. Or maybe I just need to be as good as Kronovi.